So obviously this is a fight that I don't know, necessarily anybody was expecting to see or was calling for or anything like that. So I guess what was your thought when this was the fight that was announced?
Um, I don't know. Like, I thought about it because I know he haven't fought in a while. Now, like, I'll go ahead and take it. I mean, we were supposed to fight a couple years back, anyways, and I remember specifically that fight because flying to Japan, I was on the plane. I didn't have an opponent.
That's crazy. When it was brought up, any part of you say, "Are we doing it at heavyweight? Can we stay there?"
Nah, man. You know, as much as I like dipped and dabbed in the heavyweight division and whatnot, it's not for me.
So for sure, light heavyweight moving forward.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Did it require any changes? I know you just kind of dabbled there briefly and you had the miss, but did it require any changes for you to kind of get ready? It looked like you were working on your cardio a lot this camp around.
Definitely. It didn't require a lot, but I mean, with the heavyweight division, like they hit hard. They hit hard, but also too, like some of the shots I give the heavyweights, a lot of the 205 pounders won't be able to take it.
Nice. In preparing, I mean, is there any sense in going back and watching a fight from 8 years ago, or is it just completely pointless?
It's pretty much pointless. You know, people change, fighters change, and you know your style change over time. So, you know, me fighting 8 years ago is completely different than me now. So.
Nice. Is it still? I mean, Shogun's a legend, right? I mean, is it still kind of? I mean, you've done it before, and obviously, man, you've been around the game for a long time. But is it still special to fight a guy like that?
Definitely. I mean, like I told people before, like, you know, I was a Shogun fan before I started fighting. You know, my first fights watching Shogun back in Pride and stuff, and you know, now to fight him one time, beat him, and you know, to do it again, it's gonna be like, yeah, it's gonna be a staple.
Nice. Last thing for me, any part of you consider like bringing like walking in with a skateboard or something like that?
Man, you know, what was crazy about that clip was I watched that like 8 times and I did not know what's going on. But I might think about kind of skate my way in there.
Vince, to your left. It sounds like this might be Shogun's final fight. I know he wanted to do it in Brazil, where this card was kind of rumored to be originally. What does it kind of mean to you as you kind of expressed your admiration for him to potentially be that final opponent for him?
He said, okay, say that again. I'm trying to think.
It sounds like this might be Shogun's final fight. I know this was originally talked about maybe being in Brazil, this card. I know you just expressed kind of your admiration for him and said beating him again would be a staple. So to be his final opponent potentially, what does that mean to you?
I guess it sucks for him. I mean, I understand you want to go out on top or whatnot, but at the end of the day, it's just like I'm trying to make another statement, and I don't think anybody that ever fought Shogun made a statement back to back like that, and that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm gonna do.
You go in with the mindset like I want to one up that previous performance. It was almost flawless the last time. So is there a way to one up it?
It can always be better. It can always be better. Yeah.
Over here, OSB. You'd said that the heavyweight division, you kind of realized it's not for you. I just wondered for you personally, like how did you feel like your own body performed with the extra size and that sort of thing?
Are you talking about the heavyweight division?
Yeah.
It's different when I've been fighting at 205 for so long than after you go up there. Like sometimes you can train at that weight, but it's different like actually fighting at that weight, you know. I can feel good training at that weight, but when somebody else is pretty much, you know, your size and a lot of times bigger than you are, it becomes a lot different just because over time, like you can move a 205 pounder, you can move them around like pretty much easily. But, you know, 20, 30 pounds, that makes a big difference, especially when you walk around. Like, I think when I fought, you know, Ben, I was like 238, and the next day, he was what, 270, 280? That's a lot of difference. I mean, even if you watch the fight between, you know, Israel and Jan, like, that was a 20-pound difference, and that made a big difference. So people don't realize, like, pounds goes a long way.
Did you personally, did you feel your body carrying that extra weight? Like, did you?
Oh yeah. Like, it's different when you try to move somebody and be like, okay, there's a lot of mass. Like, especially when you try to wrap your arms around somebody and be like, okay, my fingers are barely touching, as in the 205 division, you know, I can almost lock wrist to wrist.
Yeah. I mean, regarding the Shogun fight, the first one was like 34 seconds or something. Like, is there a weird pressure for you to almost like try to top yourself? Like, how do you approach a fight like that?
Um, just go in there and do what I know how to do. Like even the first time I fought him, it was on 8 days notice. I got moved up to the main event, and I was like, you know what, I'm coming. He's coming. I'm going down to Brazil. I got nothing to lose, and I had all the Brazilian fans on my back. So I went out there and made the crowd extremely quiet.
And then I wonder, just you were being asked about it, and you said sucks for him. The fact that this might be his retirement fight and he's doing it against you. It almost feels like there's like a hesitance or a reticence about like I don't know how to phrase it, but like sending a legend like this out in a bad moment.
It's crazy because the first time I fought him, and I think I was the first guy to actually ever put him away in that fashion. And I was thinking to myself, like, man, he's a legend in the sport. But at the end of the day, just like, we're competitors and whatnot. And, once that octagon locked on, the man across the cage is like, I'm just going to give you a beat down. So, because I know he's going to try to do the same thing to me. I mean, he's trying to go out on top too. So if he had the opportunity to sweep me up, I'm sure he's going to do it. So I'm just going to beat him to that punch.
Well, then last thing from me, just unrelated to this fight, but obviously the card, the main event, I think is one of the most heavily anticipated fights of the year, Gaethje and Oliveira. I'm just curious for your thoughts. How do you see that going and your excitement for it?
Gaethje's a madman. He's going to keep on coming forward and apply pressure. Charles Oliveira is the same way too. Charles Oliveira got them good tep kicks to the body that'll slow down a lot of people and whatnot. And he stands straight up almost like a Muay Thai fighter because he's not worried about getting taken down because he was that of. Everybody knows it. It's gonna be crazy, man. Like I was just talking to somebody about the pay-per-view card. I mean, if you line up within the pay-per-view card, how many guys topped off at bonuses or whatnot? I'm one of the lower tier guys with bonuses and stuff, and I felt like I did pretty good with bonuses in my career. So it's this card right here. Just looking at it, I'm like, man, it's gonna be pretty hard for me to get a bonus, but I'm gonna try to work on it.
Hi, Ovince, over here to your left. Being a former heavyweight, what advice would you have to give to Jon Jones as he makes a jump up to heavyweight and potentially challenges for the interim title against Stipe?
When you're that big, the way you think you're going to move is not going to be that of. Especially like, I think it's different. You can feel like that in practice, but if the body operates in a high stress situation, which somebody's trying to clean your clock off. So, and it's different too. It's like those guys are used to moving around that way. They've been in that weight class for a while. Like I did it playing football, and I remember doing it playing football. It hurt, keeping my weight up that much playing football. And with mixed martial arts is me getting up there. I can feel like I'm in shape, but it still hurts either way. You're a tad bit slower. You can be stronger. You could think you're moving fast, but you're a tad bit slower.
Do you think Jon Jones will be a double champion?
There's a possibility. I mean, he's been in the game for so long. Like especially the way he goes into a fight, like the mindset, kind of like a tactician or whatnot. Like he's really good at imposing like different strategies on people, and he's really good at changing styles too. So.
OSB over here. Back to what you were saying about the bonuses. The 10 fighters on the main card have a combined 195 UFC fights, 122 UFC wins, and 90 finishes, 99 bonuses. So can you describe what it feels like to be in this position, being part of what has the potential to be a historical UFC event?
Ish. I mean, the bonus is gonna be. You don't understand. Like a lot of times when the fighters go into a card, they'll look at the card up and down and be like, "Oh, I can possibly get a bonus." This card is gonna be like, "Man, it's gonna be really hard." But at the end of the day, all I care about is getting my hand raised at the end of the night. So I'm cool with that. So as long as I'm part of that historic moment, I'm good.
And lastly, how has this fight camp for Rua differed, if at all, from your previous two camps for Jamal Hill and Tanner?
Me just got locked in a lot focused this time. I was actually I came out an extra 2 weeks early. now that at the PI, make sure everything is on point. Got a good couple of training sessions at Couture with a couple of those guys over there. So I feel really, really good. Came back, met my coach over here. We were working out last night, and he was like, "Man, you're looking real sharp." So everything's coming too. So I'm feeling really good.